Hey, what's going on, guys? Kieran from Fingers Crossed. And today, following on from yesterday, where I did an old school Gren Maju, so 2002, 2007 period. Today we've got a stun build, a Numeron stun. Yeah, just a different way to play Gren Maju. Obviously, stun is good. It's quite good against the meta if you get to go first, if you win the dice roll, of course. But yeah, not going to waste too much time, just going to jump straight into these deck profiles. We've got a long week, got a lot of deck profiles to get through. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into this deck profile. But just before I do, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. As you guys all will know, it helps all channels out. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Just creeping up, been on 115 for a few days now. Hopefully we can start climbing again and get to somewhere else. So hopefully you guys like my build, and let's get into it. Okay guys, here you go. Numeron-Gren. So of course, we're going to be starting with the big boy. Always going to be start of the Gren Maju. Got Gren Maju. Gains attack and defense equal 400 for each banished card. Then you've got Baby Gren, just the two of Baby Gren, because obviously there are occasions when I've played three that my extra deck's already been used, or I don't have enough, or I know you can benefit from your card and field, but you don't really want to be doing that. So just the two of him. It's a bit of a nuisance to get rid of, and obviously it is level 1. Then into the first part of the Numeron package, the monster Numeron Wall. So this card is actually pretty good. I didn't realise at first, but obviously the main effect that you want to be using this for is you want to discard it to the graveyard, and then you can activate a Numeron network directly from your deck. So or your hand, but you're realistically going to be doing it from your deck. So yeah, this is so that's the first effect. But the second effect that I did not realise, when you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, end the battle phase. So it's a battle fader. It's a Glyph and battle fader all in one. So this is actually a pretty good card. So yeah, this is it's kind of a hand trap as well as a searcher. So a really good card. Really recommend at 3. And then moving on. So if you have set up your Zexal, if you can get out this bad boy, if your Zexal gets a bit small, because it gets 1,000 attack for each Numeron gate. If you've already used this effect twice, and you have an OTK jet, and you straw this, just link that, just tribute it away, because 100% you want to get Vanity's Fiend on the build. The stopping special summons is just as good. I doubt there's many people I don't think there's any normal summons that are 24. I just don't. So absolute crazy floodgate, so good, and he's a big boy as well. Then, just in case you don't go, so that's it really for the monsters, for if you're going first. But if you do have to go second, you need to start breaking boards. You need to break boards, disrupt their plays. So 2 Lava Golem, really good. Recently I played online, not this build, but I played online, and Lava Golem was the MVP of that duel. It was an online tournament. I played against Virtual World with a normal Gren Maju deck, and I won. And this was the MVP. Just crazy, saved me really. Then of course, continuing on, Ash Blossom is the most generic. Sorry for the mixed arts, but it's just a generic. It is a good one. This does stop dinosaurs if you Ash the Misc effect in Grave. It is okay against Virtual World. Dimensional Shifter is the best against Virtual World, but this deck can't play that. So Ash Blossom is really good, just a generic hand trap. Then the Numeron spells. We've got 3 Numeron Network and 3 Numeron Coolant. So how these work is you're gonna you're going to activate Numeron Network. The Numeron Network's effect is you're going to send a Numeron spell from your deck, so Numeron Cooling, and then it becomes Numeron Cooling. So then Numeron Cooling's effect is, let me find it, so if you control no monsters, so this is why it has to be a turn 1 thing, special summon up to 4 Numeron-Gate XYZ monsters with different names from your extra deck, but banish them during the end phase. Also, you can only normal or special summon once for the rest of this turn. So really good. Potentially, if you've Lava Golem someone, you can use this turn to just get your Numerons and use their OTK ability. Or if you're going first, then you can set up your Zexal or your Mega Clops. So that's the Numeron package. Moving on. So of course you do still need draw power, you do still need to fuel your Gren Maju as best as you can. No Gizmek in this build, as you can see, because if you get Vanities you can't, if you Vanities you can't Gizmek, so pointless, it would just be a dead card, but you would be able to Desires. So Desires to draw. Also Allure of Darkness to draw. We do play a lot of dark monsters in this deck. The only ones that are not are Gren, Ash and Golem. They're all fire, so Allure is another good one just in case you need to get a little bit of draw to search for your Numeron stuff. The one-offs, one Call by the Grave. So obviously you do want to stop the hand traps. You don't want someone to Ogi network. So there's the one. Regeki, just in case you do go second, just to wipe their board, or if you've gone second, you've golemed them, get rid of it. So, and then you can OTK if you've gone second, so pretty good. Monster Reborn standard, if they've outed something or they've got something that you like, Monster Reborn, you know what it does. Then, for more stun package, so we've got 2 Solemn Judgment and 2 Strike. These ones are the best ones in my opinion. So what you want to be doing is you want to be putting Judgment and Solemn Strike realistically to try and protect your Zexal, because obviously they can still Pancratops and beat over. There's Cyber Dragon that they can special and beat over, so you want to be using these realistically to stop that. Of course, that's for Solemn Judgments for like spells and stuff like that. Got Infinite Impermanence, so just more disruption. Make sure that they can't get their plays off, or if they are trying to activate effects from monster effects, if you don't have your Zexal on board, it just helps with that. Or if you go in second, again, just help disrupt. Now, here is the one. So, if you've got Zexal on board, and if they've got Zexal, most Virtual World at the moment cannot play if they can't use their graveyard. To summon, they have to send to graveyard. So Dimension Ground, most decks cannot deal with things if they can't send to graveyard. So super good disruption. It will just stop people, just halt them, and they won't be able to do anything. Continuing on, we've got Dogmatica Punishment. Again, it's just a good card, just a good way to, if you've got this, you can just disrupt their play, whatever their normal summon is, or if they do special summon Pank, you can just get rid of it. So yeah, there's that. Then we have the last 2 cards of the main deck. We've got the new card that just came out on Phantom Rage, Warning Point. So it's basically a trap version of No Material, but it is a little bit better. So when a monster is summoned this turn, that face-up monster cannot attack, its effects are negated, also it cannot be used as material for a Fusion, Synchro, XYZ or Link summon. So again, just further stopping, halting your play, stunning your opponent. Yeah, and that's it for the main deck. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Stun decks are like, you know what they're going to do. They're just going to try and stop, halt the play, and disrupt your opponent. So then going on into the extra deck. So I'll try and do these all at once if I can get them on the camera. So we play 2 number 1s. 2 number 2s, 2 number 3s, play 1 number 4, and 1 Zexal. So again, like I said, what you want to be doing is you want to summon 3, then go into your topic Zexal. You don't want to be going into 4 and then Zexal, because you can be Nibiru'd, and you just don't want that. That's just not, it's a bit embarrassing. So you don't want to do that. You want to go into 3, go into Zexal, and then obviously the 4 is for if you are going second, you can go into 4 because they have to be with different names. So yeah, so 3 then Zexal if you're going first, all 4 if you're going second to try and OTK. But just remember that at the end of the turn, the Numeron gates will be banished at the end of in your end phase. So realistically, if you're going to do it, you're going to want it to go into something after. If you've gone into the 4 in your if you're going second and you haven't OTK'd, you need to use them. You either need to go into Zexal or go into a Megaclops. You need to use them, otherwise they're going to be banished and you're going to be left with no monsters. So there's those. Then moving on, as you've just seen, 1 Megaclops. So many decks can just not out this. Like, this card is just crazy. I know that before, Adamancipator just couldn't do anything about it. I know this is used in Zodiac as well, they use it. I watched someone on Pro Player Games actually win against Adamancipator, and he won the entire tournament. So unaffected by this card, so it needs 3 XYZs. That's why I'm saying you need to go into it with your Numeron gates. So this card is unaffected by other monster effects except those of XYZ monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle except an XYZ monster. You can target 1 XYZ monster in your graveyard and 1 card your opponent controls. Special summon that monster from your graveyard, and if you do, attach that opponent's card to it as material. Also, for the rest of this turn, any damage your opponent takes is halved. So that is pretty crazy, guys. Like, you can do it and then get another negate on your Zexal. So that is pretty crazy. That is just insane. Potentially with like Zodiacs now becoming a bit of a better deck, obviously it will be affected by those, so Dryden can just destroy it. But a lot of other decks like Dragon Link, what's still good? Dragon Link and it's on the tip of my tongue. Infernoble, they can't attack it, they can't affect it, it can't be destroyed, and it's 4,000 attack. Like, it's such a big beat stick, there's not really much they can do. So yeah, that one's pretty good. Then just the generic ones. So these are for the Link ones. You do play a lot of ones. Numeron Rules are 1. Numeron Rules are 1. You've got Eater of Millions, that's a 1. So it is just like you can go into those, suck up if you need to, or just a Link Rebos, just generic. And also, if you do have Eater, so Eater of Millions can't be tributed, so you can go into Eater, go into a Link Karibo or an Anima if you want to, and then you can tribute these away for your Vanity's Fiend. So just a little note there, it is a quick to get into the Vanity's Fiend if you've drawn Eater and that. Now obviously 1 Nightmare Phoenix, so you know what this card does. Discard, destroy a spell. Then this is probably going to be a staple in most of my decks at the moment because they're just running around a lot. This is what I'm going to be playing in most of my decks. This will 100% be in my deck that I build, my Gren Maju build 100%, because Invoked is a thing, Alistair is a thing. A lot of people are playing it, different variants. You got Dogmatica invoked, you play Lich invoked. There's so many variants, so many different people playing it, and this is just like you will send Nova and Tis. Tis is a pop, and then from Nova you can get your Mecha Barrel, and you can beat them at their own game and have negates on board for you to disrupt their plays. So yeah, absolutely insane, really good for those. So So of course guys, this deck profile was a lot quicker than the others, just because it's super simple. Like stun is just simple. You just get a floodgate monster on board, protect it. That is it, do you know what I mean? That's what you do, you just protect. Put a floodgate monster, so Zexal or your Vanity's Fiend, if I can find it. Vanity's Fiend, you get one of those on board and then just protect it at all costs. I really like Vanity's Fiend. It is kind of a nuisance to get into, but I really liked it. I tried to play a Gren stun before, basically only trying to get in that. Didn't go very well. But yeah, this build I think is pretty good. I just haven't had the courage to play it in locals yet, because I kind of want to do well at locals. But online I've played it. It does have goods. It does do well, you know. It's pretty simple. Just gotta be careful. Don't activate Zexal. So the only time that this deck can be, don't activate Zexal in the standby phase, because if you activate in the standby phase and they gamma you, you're fucked. So yeah, don't do that. Wait for them to like commit to their normal summon, then Zexal. Yeah, that's the only advice I would give. You just don't want them to be you don't want them to be gammering you, and then you end up with nothing. So no, unless you have some sort of protection, or unless you ash the search bar, then you're using. Well, yeah, there's loads of other ways. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah. Just remember, guys, like I know in Gren Maju, a lot of people play Dimensional Shifter. You cannot use Dimensional Shifter in this because you need to send to grave. So for the Numeron, so if you've shifted and then you send to grave, you can't. And then if you've already done your plays by sending, your graveyard is full, so you cannot play Shifter in this build, unfortunately. He is an insane card, I know, but you can't play it in this build. But thanks for watching, guys. I rambled on a little bit there at the end, sorry about that. I keep jogging the camera as well, so it's moving all over the place. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.